Bring the funk back.
Hi, everyone. Wow, Justin, that was so cool. What a great intro we just did there. Welcome to a live stream. It's a Halloween live stream. We're doing it a day before, just because we thought everyone probably would be really busy doing trick-or-treating and parties and stuff like that tomorrow. So this is a live stream that we're doing about Squid Game, which is this awesome new series on Netflix. It's been out actually for a little while now. It's not that new. And there's been a lot of hype around it, a lot of coverage on it. But, we thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun for a Halloween live stream to do it? And today I have some lovely guests. First of all, I want to thank Justin, who is here to produce the show today, so make it look as beautiful as it is. But we have Alicia Kingston is here. She is here representing player 452. Then we have Ian. It's his triangle. Yeah, so you just have to imagine he has a triangle on his face in that costume. And I am player 212. I chose player 212. Alicia asked me why I picked it, just because her hair is kind of the closest. So I thought that would be kind of cool. So anyway, welcome everyone. How is everyone doing today?
Yeah, doing good. We are doing good. Thanks for the invitation to the Halloween ball. Really appreciate it, Heidi. Player 212. Really appreciate it.
And Alicia, how are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm
Alicia
doing
has
well.
Family over, so it's going to be like her family on her show.
Well, I'm actually at the family's house now,
okay.
so
you can't blame me.
I've been. Yeah, there's some background noise. I apologize, but I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on. And yeah, Justin, excellent intro, my guy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was really cool. So we're all kind of in costumes. So Alicia and I are both wearing tracksuits, and Triangle is he's representing the hot pink. Is it pink or is it red that you're wearing?
It is red, but on stream it
does
look a bit pinky. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it kind of reads pink. So anyway, so we're talking about Squid Game today, but also we're going to be giving away some prizes. So the first prize we have, actually, Alicia has offered it up. We're going to ship it to you wherever you are in our small world. Justin might have a picture
in the contingent United States, we'll say.
Okay, well,
international is expensive.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll see where you are. If you're in England and stuff like that, there it is. So there's a picture of it. It's framed. It's beautiful. It's funny, when I first saw it, I thought it was Black Panther, but it's some Captain America.
No, that is Captain America. I will say it is not brand new. I had a friend that was getting rid of some of his nerd archive things, and I thought it was a cool poster, but I have two, so I figured we can give one away.
Yeah, it's a really nice gesture. I would be very happy to have that. So whoever wins that will be lucky. But also, we're going to do two $25 Amazon gift cards, so you can buy whatever you want on Amazon in the world. That one is international. We can just send it to you wherever you are in the world, because it will just go through email. And at the end, whoever wins it, I just ask if you can just message me on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, your email, and I will send it right out. So just want to say hello to a few of my friends who are here in the chat. Peter Griffiths is here. Hi, Peter. Tamara, Anthony, Danny McKay, my girl Tatiana Melendez is here. Conan O'Connor, Lord Dom Snow. I love that name. Alicia, is that someone you know?
Yeah, Dom's good people. He's been in our Game of Thrones circuit for a while.
Awesome. And
He's
also we
guy.
have 30-day reviews. Hi, 30 days. That's Justin. So Justin has been basically holding down the fort for me on our live streams. He's a wonderful creator as well. So if you guys want to check out his channel, he has a wonderful channel. So welcome to everyone who's here so far. First off, poor Ian. I had told him that the stream was tomorrow, but it was actually today. So he sort of just managed to pull it all together super quick. That is so awesome. So now, if anyone hasn't seen Squid Game, there will be some spoilers. We can't talk about it, right? Without having spoilers. Yeah. All right. So let us begin. We talked about all this giveaways and so on. Okay, so why don't we just go around the table and ask everyone what your impression of Squid Game was? So why don't we start with you, Alicia?
I did not expect to like it as much as I did. I heard when it came out, everybody was talking about it. No one wanted to talk about anything else for quite some time. So I'm like, I had a free Saturday. I was bored, said, okay, let me see what everybody's talking about. And I ended up binging the whole thing in one day. I thought it was spectacular. There were some people that were annoying, but they helped to move the story and add for shenanigans. And in a story like this, you need some shenanigans so you're not like depressed for everyone that's on the screen all the time. And yeah, I just thought it was great. And it's, great commentary on issues that are going on in the world today. If you're actually paying attention and you see the point that the maker was trying to give to the world. And I loved it. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you said. I binged it as well. I think I did it in 2 days, so it took me a little while longer. What about you, Ian? What were your thoughts? Because Alicia, you had actually messaged me about it, so I went to watch it. I think that's why I watched it, wasn't it? Because of you?
Yeah, we were trying to come up with something to do together for Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah, and then anyways,
this.
And then I messaged Ian saying, Ian, have you seen it? So Ian, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was absolutely mind blowing. So it was. I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was. I watched the Japanese film quite a while back called Battle Royale. Don't know if you've ever seen it. Yeah. And it's very, very similar to Squid Game. They're both extremely gory and very disturbing, which is right up my street anyway. But in terms of a Netflix show, it was absolutely brilliant. Great storyline, great characters. Exactly what Alicia said there. Completely relevant to what's happening in the modern world at the minute in terms of death and people struggling and all that kind of not good stuff, but all that kind of narrative. And basically the lengths that people will go in order to get themselves financially stable or pay off that debt. And I thought the series was really good, and similar to the pair of you, I binge watched it I think over 2 days. It was so gripping and enthralling. I don't think I could have watched it over 4 or 5 days. I just had to keep churning it out and seeing what was going to happen next, and it didn't disappoint.
Ian, I can't see you. Did you turn your camera off?
No.
Oh, no, there you are. Okay.
Sorry.
There's your face.
My dude, you disappeared on us there. Okay.
I didn't realize I'd done that. That's okay. I see myself on the screen here.
I don't know if anyone's seen a Parasite or Train to Busan. South Korea oh my God, they're doing such amazing stuff.
Yeah. They do really good at horror.
Very good at horror. And I just watched Train to Busan, which is on Amazon Prime. So if anyone checks it out, so one of the main characters from this is the star of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Parasite. So lots of the similar themes as Alicia was alluding to. Tatiana. So she says, I've only watched a few scenes, but it looks insane. Love how colorful it is, though. Great contrast to the dark spookiness we're used to. Absolutely. We're going to get into that. I totally agree. Isn't that refreshing?
Mm-hmm.
Alicia, what do you think about the color palette and how they use color?
The use of color and lighting is kind of its own character in the show. Because they, and you can tell a lot of times when they are doing like something that's going to be really gritty, it tends to be when it's the brightest, except for maybe near the end when they were in a rainstorm. To start off with, you're getting some fresh air, you're in this new place, they take you outside, it's beautiful sunshine, and then people start getting shot. And no rules of the game were ever really given. It's supposed to be red light, green light. Okay, but you didn't say a whole lot of other stipulations besides that. So human response, you see someone getting shot, you automatically run the other way to get out of Dodge, but that's what's putting you in danger, is moving. And it takes a while to really let that sink in and do what they need to do. And it's that I think that whole scene was probably the first time where I had the side eye, the old man. It's like, because you look a little too happy to be there, sir. There's bodies on the ground and you're smiling playing this game.
Yeah, Suspect. I had the unfortunateness of reading a spoiler about that before I got to the end. So that was a little bit disappointing.
That stinks.
Yeah, I thought it was just, at first when I saw it, I thought it was because of his Alzheimer's, because that's common, right? Like an inappropriate response to something, a given situation, because my mother has dementia. So they oftentimes will react in an inappropriate way. You know what I mean? So that I kind of bought that, than him smiling. What about you, Triangle? Ian,
Yeah.
what did you think about the use of color and how that played out here?
Well, I thought it was very interesting. The Squid Game obviously is based on a child's game, and in Japan or Korea, wherever it was, and the use of colors are very much of a child's television show, very bright and very vibrant. And even the arenas that they're in, there's a one of the arenas where they're trying to sort of etch out the cookie or the biscuit, and there's like clouds on the walls. It's almost like Andy's room from Toy Story.
Yes,
it's a bit like that.
Yeah.
And then the actual colors that we're wearing tonight, there's a bit of an argument, a bit of a debate online whether it was red or pink. And the argument is that if it's pink,
it's pink. It's definitely pink. It's fuchsia. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a feminine color. It's very it's a motherly color. It's something that's very welcoming. Something that's very something that keeps you secure. Something that you don't fear. Whereas like the connotation, like the reverse there is actually this is like what the guards are wearing. This is like what the soldiers are wearing. So you are supposed to be afraid of it. And then obviously the teal green color, then I think that represents like unity and tranquility and stuff like that. And it's a color that's supposed to make you feel relaxed. But again, it's in this program, it's the equivalent of wearing striped pajamas. It's the same as wearing an orange jumpsuit to the executioner's room. Do you know what I mean? So, and then obviously then it's all tracksuits as well, which is supposed to be leisure wear, and it's supposed to, again, a very relaxed, another relaxed kind of connotation. But again, it's the polarizing effect is that it's not. Again, this is basically representative of a jumpsuit or a suit you would wear, if you're going to get executed, or a prisoner's outfit. I know they weren't prisoners as such, but it was something that turned everything on its head. It was almost like it's like a really macabre kind of reverse psychology. The use of the colors, the child's playground, and the vibrant colors, and this reminds me of Andy's room from Toy Story. But in Andy's room from Toy Story, didn't get shot in the head for moving in red light, green light. So yeah, I thought it was really well done. And again, I think that's part of the reason why I enjoyed it so much. It was because it was so twisted like that, lured into a false sense of security, thinking, oh, this is a game, and then boom, everything changes in a nanosecond.
Yeah, a really great commentary there, Ian. Now, okay, let's just talk about the plot a little bit. My understanding is the director wrote it, the story as well. Obviously, he's influenced by Battle Royale. There's a video game apparently he was also influenced by. So, Battle Royale sort of set the stage many years back, and things like the Hunger Games were inspired by it. Like, you can't deny it. Or even The Lottery by Shirley Jackson, which is a great short story that picking off people, kind of battle to the death kind of thing. Tatiana says pink can be deceptive, hot pink, especially since it's associated to party, adolescence, and youth, and people tend to overlook those aspects as childish. I was also going to say, and this has been pointed out, the green and the hot pink are complementary colors, so they just look really good together on camera.
And they made those walls put together like that just look like it's supposed to be a fun house.
Yeah.
And a maze for you to go through and navigate around those stairs. And if you're not a guard, you don't know how to properly navigate those stairs. It's another, added mystery that's in there that you don't find out till later when you're trying to run.
Yeah, so they didn't just use the color in the costumes, they used them in the set as well. But then they go into this one like sort of really stark white room, which that reminded me actually of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for Mike TV. I don't know if you guys remember that scene where they go in to shrink the chocolate bar down, and they're just in this brilliant white room. Kind of reminded me of that, where it's like this just it's just interesting how they decided on how to do it, like psychologically, because obviously they've been doing this for decades, right?
Since
Alicia, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, it's to see those records, like you know, people like this are operating and they're very comfortable how they're operating. So that automatically tells you they've been doing it for a while. And then when we see that record room and how far back it goes, like that's just freaking scary to think about. And I don't think this is the first time that anyone has stumbled onto that, or, you know, gotten an inkling that something was going on. Like one of their people went missing and they ended up like this cop coming through to look for his brother. I don't think that would have made a difference. Even with him being a cop, I can almost guarantee that he's not the first one to make it that far and to find out something. Even if his message did go through and someone on the outside does hear, whoever that person is probably going to get a phone call very quickly and tell them to delete whatever they were sent and tell them to sit down. Because, you know, in that society with that group of rich folks, they already tapped in to whoever's in charge. If any reports or anything like that are filed, they're going to just disappear, just like everybody in that game.
Yeah, they probably been
That's
paying
a scary
people off.
thought.
Yeah, they've been paying off the police department or something like that, I'm sure. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, I totally agree. As you know, the series lends itself for a prequel or an anthology here. You know, the next series we could easily go into what happens next, but we could easily just as easy go into what happened prior. And you know, obviously, like, we have to talk about spoilers in order to talk about the show. But whenever the first round of candidates or selected members decided to vote against the Squid Games, and they were all released, and then they all come back again, the location changed. It was like in the forest, and it was on a big cruise, on a big boat. Then the second time round, or you know, so it's interesting to sort of get a scope here of how big this is. It kind of reminded me of a film called Hostel, and
I haven't seen it. I can't watch torture porn.
Yeah. Well,
although this is kind of torture porn.
Yeah, this is sort of similar. But in the first kind of movie, you think it's just isolated to like one location, like in Lithuania or somewhere like that. Then as the films develop, this actually goes on all around the world. There are these clubs or this organization is known throughout the world and do this everywhere. So I'm kind of interested to find out, is this going to be something that's global, and we might see like this happening in America or Canada or UK or France or Germany? Is it going to go down that kind of route, you know? But yeah, and I totally agree. I think it's
with DirecTV
setting the tone. It's giving us some canon and some lore in this first series, and it will just be interesting, just with those kind of little discreet, you know, scenes like you were saying there about the records room and the files and all that kind of stuff. And you know, everything's paper based, so you know, it could be like maybe there was no computers when this first started. This could be something that has been going on since the 70s or 80s or much longer. But yeah, I totally agree. 100% agree. I think it's going to be. I think this. Well, obviously there's going to be a season 2, but I think that this could easily give us a prequel as well as a sequel.
I just want to say hi to Anna. She's here. She says, she says, first, I don't know much about debt in South Korea, but I'm pretty sure there's a very different perspective on it in East Asia. East Asia is pretty large, but the cultures there all share the same underpinnings. And I wonder if the stigma on debt is such that people can actually be overlooked like these missing people. Yeah. I mean, well, this is sort of what Parasite is about, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not a horror movie. No, maybe it is a bit of a horror movie. I don't know if you've seen it, Ian.
No, haven't seen it, but I will check it out.
It's an excellent movie. I think it won an Oscar. Someone will have to tell me, at least for foreign film, best foreign film. So
there's actually this real quick what Anna was saying. The thing that we see Guion have that small flashback about, that was actually based on something that had actually happened in South Korea some years ago. And the writer, the creator of this show, he specifically wove that into the plot, specifically to make commentary on it and to show the desperation of these people once they get into those situations.
Yeah.
You're talking about people who have issues with debt?
Yeah, I mean, not or just debt, but they're kind of screwed over. Like Guion's character, he was a working man, but then the people that owned the warehouse he was working at did some shady things, and they basically kicked all their workers out of the building when the workers went on strike. They had police and armed forces come in and, start this almost war in the streets in that neighborhood to get rid of them so they could make whatever money they needed to make. And if you look it up, I forget what the actual name of the company was that they based it on for this show, but if you look it up, you can find all of the details about it. It's very, very concerning what happened to those folks.
It's funny because I was kind of waiting for it. Turned out that Il Nam was involved in that company. I thought that would have been an interesting twist.
I was waiting for that too.
Yeah, you were. Okay, like I thought, okay, I bet you Il Nam was behind that company and is the reason why our protagonist is here, why he's in this situation.
Yeah, because he said, I remember hearing about that when it happens. You were probably involved in it, sir. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so regarding the storytelling of the story, I mean, obviously it's done. I'm really glad they did it as a series instead of a movie, because we just got to know so many of the characters, what their lives were like outside of the game. And they really did an amazing job of fleshing them out. So do we want to talk about characters? Ian, do you want to talk a bit about what you thought about the characters?
Yeah, I thought the characters were all very, very interesting. They all brought something very uniquely different to the show. You had the sort of kind of average Joe, and then you had the criminal,
the everyman,
and you had the criminal, and then you had someone who's up in the upper echelons of business, and it turns out then he was swindling money, and he was investing it in some dodgy dealings and stuff like that. So there was a lot of people there for different. Well, they're all there for the same reason, but they all had a different journey to get to the Squid Games, which was interesting. So it wasn't just a case of let's get some down and out bum who has no money to play in Squid Games. These people were all selected, and the selection process is good. Whenever we first meet, is it Ji-hun? The main character, when we meet him in the subway, and he's lost his winnings from the bookies or from the betting shop, and we realize later on that he was pickpocketed by another character that ends up in the Squid Game as well. So I thought the characters were all very they're all very unique, and they all brought something very different to the show, but ultimately all had the same goal. But like I said before, all different paths to get there. But some of them were some of the characters were down their luck. Others were there because of loan sharks. And the thing is that not only were they trying to win money to pay back their debts, but for a few of them they were trying to prevent organs being removed from their bodies. I think earlier on we see
which there's always been sort of like that always seemed like the most horrific thing that could possibly happen to you. There have been horror movies done about that, right? Where you're basically, your organs are being stolen from your body. So that's sort of the idea. You have to pay off a debt. And there's even some sci-fi movies about that, where you get an organ that's I think it's like a robotic sorry.
I'm sorry, really quick. This person next to me just wanted to say hi. She was one of the loud voices that you heard earlier.
Hello. Hi, who's that?
Okay, you can leave now, though, ma'am.
Being nosy.
my cousin Daphne.
Oh, hi there.
Yeah.
It's nice
I made them watch Squid Game with me last weekend.
Awesome. Why I'm doing this, by the way, is because it's so small on my screen I couldn't see you. No, I was going to say that. Sorry, Alicia. What was I saying? You have to remind me.
But the organs, harvesting organs.
Oh yeah, so there's a science fiction movie like that where there's robotic organs that people get, but they're in serious debt because of the organ, and then they go back and reclaim the organ.
Mm-hmm. That's something that was made from a play. From a stage play. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. So
that's like sort of like one of those horror stories, right? Where someone has, or even like The Island, like they're, you're a clone that you're grown just to sort of make organs for rich people.
Well, as far as I've only watched one.
The Island is the name of that movie.
The Island
with
is
the organs for rich people.
It's my favorite Michael Bay movie. Okay. Sorry. Go back to what you were saying there, Ian. Apologies.
Oh no, that's exactly the thing. The characters all had different narratives, they all had different journeys to the Squid Game, but ultimately all have the same goal, is to get the money to repay back something, if it's a debt or if it's a loan shark, or if it's to save their eyes and their kidneys from being removed, and that tends to be the two most popular items of the human body they refer to quite often in that in Squid Game. And then later on, then we do find out that some of the guards are harvesting and selling them on. Yeah, and
it's so primitive. They even make him sign it with like a blood thumbprint, right? Yeah. A bloody thumbprint, which is like, it's almost like doing a deal with the devil. Yeah. Here, I'm going to sign this, sign my organs away.
Well, actually, Heidi, I just
30 Days says it's Repo is the name of that movie.
Repo Man.
Yeah,
Repo.
I just wanted to chime in because I've only seen the first episode, and that's why I'm not on camera. But it seems to me like this is a very straightforward allegory for life, and this is a commentary on capitalism and everything, because they want to make sure these people are trampling over other people. And you can even use like the stealing of the organs, but sometimes you give your health for wealth, right? Like not even in a direct overt way like that, but sometimes you work yourself to death and so forth. So it seems to me that it seems like Southeast Asia really has like there's a lot of these films coming out recently that have like this kind of narrative.
That's what Gangnam Style is about, right? Gangnam Style is about this this inequity between the wealthy and the poor. So he actually I can't, what's the name of the performer? He was making fun of the wealthy in that.
Yeah. So I just
riding the horses and all that.
You just have to wonder what the climate is over there. It seems very, very interesting though, and horrific. Sorry.
So, Alicia, what did you think of the characters? I know you said there were some that you weren't that crazy about, but you said that at the same time it sort of added to the story.
They did. Well, let me talk about my two faves first, because they deserve all the love. The main young lady that made it to the end, I cannot remember her name, but Justin, let me look on the Screen Rant page.
It's Kang Se Biok.
I think so.
She's
number 3.
Yeah, she's from North Korea.
Yeah, she's the girl from North Korea. Yes.
Okay.
Her and our number 1 character that's on that Screen Rant list, Ali.
Yes.
Those two, if anyone had actual noble reasons for being there, it was them. Mm-hmm. And Ali really just wanted to take care of his family. I mean, kudos to him getting the bag from his boss, even though he had to steal it before he left, and he got his wife and kid back home. He said, yo, take this. I'll follow you when I can, but I need y'all to get to safety, and I'm going to go handle stuff. And he ended up in these games because his boss did not want to pay him. It had been 6 months already, and he's still working to the bone. He lost 2 fingers on the machines in that job and has not seen a paycheck for half a year. So then we get to the young lady, and she's just trying to make a way for her mom to escape North Korea and to get her brother out of foster care. And she also doesn't have too many prospects. So she's on the street trying to, hustle, and she's a pickpocket. That's one of the things that actually ropes Gyeong in, because she pickpocketed some money from him that he owed and needed to give to some gangsters. But
that was sly.
So, yeah, I mean, she was trying to do her thing. I can't fault anybody that's in that situation. All of us will do in any given situation where we're in jeopardy. We're going to do what we need to do to get out. And that's the path that she was on. And the way this game works, it makes you think that you can actually win. I mean, they even set it up to where if you're on a team, you think everybody can just win at the end and then split that money. That's a fallacy. And those key rules are never really explained until they come up. And we see at the end, we always know it was always set up for only one person to ever win. So those two folks are great. They were some of the best hearted people, I think, even though they have, quote unquote, dark past that they're trying to, get away from. Now, for the folks that I did not like, Gyeong is one of those, our main player.
Oh, you didn't like him?
I know he had some issues, and I do understand why he got into the place that he did. However, that does not give you, just because you have PTSD, I'm sorry, I don't think that gives you the right to be a dick to your mom and to neglect your daughter. That's just no, okay? Especially in the last time he saw his daughter. He went to his ex-wife's house with her new husband and his daughter and the new baby boy.
Jake. Sorry to say hi to Jake.
Oh no, what's good, Jake? Always good to see you. Ask that woman for money. Mind you, she doesn't work. Her husband is the breadwinner in the family. Ask her for money. It doesn't work out because obviously she doesn't have any to give. And when he's going to leave, stepdad comes outside, says, here, this is what you asked for, right? This is what you need. I need you to do better. And if you can't do that, then I need you to stay away from my family. And Gion gets mad and throws the money back at him. Sir, you literally went there just asking for the money, but now you're mad at him for being able to give you the money. I know he has issues, but I have issues with him because of how he's handling things and the way he reacted. I don't like that. That's just dirty. But
he had a good arc.
Play number one.
Yeah,
he did have a good arc.
Yes. And
if they continue with the sequel, I mean, I don't know.
Walter White is one of the most despicable characters, protagonists, and yet he had an amazing arc. I mean, we rooted for him.
He did. I'll give you that. But Gion, I mean, look what he did after the whole thing went down, though. First of all, he made a promise that little boy was not supposed to stay in foster care, and he left that kid sitting there for a year with no contact from his sister. He doesn't even know whether his sister's dead or alive. And you know what, sitting like that for anyone, cut off from all the people you love and not knowing what's going on, that can mess you up, especially if you're a young child. And then he just let that money sit there and didn't do anything with it. You could have been seeing your daughter all this time, but you just let a whole year go by for no reason. But that's enough on him. Old Ilnam, player number one. I told you, I was side-eyeing him from episode 1. And then once it looped back around and I found out why he was involved and how he was involved, I don't even know that I would have spent that much time sitting and talking to him. I would have unplugged all of his I would have unplugged all of his cords and then just walked out the room. I would not have had that conversation with him at all.
Yeah, that's it. You got him there, Justin. It's the old guy, is old Ilnam, the 001 player. Well, he's the ultimate big bad, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. I mean, him and all of those rich guys that were in the room with him, especially that other one, the guy that tried to get the cop. Like, dude, you are gross and disgusting. I am all for the LGBT rainbow love. That is my community. However, what you were trying to do and make that young man do in the room with your disgustingness, no, that no one ever needs that or should be treated that way. That's gross. I was glad when he got knocked out. I'm surprised the cop didn't kill him. I would have.
Okay, so what about you, Ian? What were your thoughts on the characters? And did you have any favorites?
Who are your faves?
What were your faves?
Actually, it's just a bit of a controversial one because Minio, the sort of erratic woman that kind of takes up with the guy with the snake tattoo.
Yeah,
player 212.
Yeah.
That's me.
Heidi's player.
I'm only her. She's super annoying.
She's so annoying.
I thought her character.
But she adds juice.
Yeah, the fact that she was so annoying, and we all thought she was so annoying, and we all kind of couldn't wait to see her.
She did her job.
She did her job. She was great.
She was a good actress. Yes,
and she was a great master manipulator too. So she was a good character, and she brought a lot to the show. Obviously she doesn't make it to the end, but it was she was very much independent.
She made it as far as she wanted to.
Yeah, and she was I think her backstory, she's a single mom or single mother, and she's
unless she lied about that.
Unless she lied about it. Other than that, she's very mysterious. We don't really know very much about her. I don't think we get to see very much of what she gets up to outside of Squid Games when they all kind of got the vote to leave. The guy with the sort of the gangster guy with the snake tattoo, we got to see what he was up to, and we got to see a lot of the other characters, but we didn't really get to see what she was doing behind the scenes. So it'll be interesting.
She's the only one we didn't get a full backstory on.
Right. I would have liked to have seen really what her there maybe there
we know where everyone else came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Thank you.
Yes, you do. That's her.
And the reason why I'm kind of dressed like her is because our hair is the closest. So it's like, who can I be? And also, I went with her. But I kind of through the show, I was like, oh my God, this was so annoying. But then I did hear that some of the subtitles were wrong for her as well. So because some of the stuff that she was saying, I'm like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? And then apparently
I watched the dub version.
Yeah,
I couldn't do this. Usually I don't mind subtitles, but I just couldn't do it consistently with this one.
So who else didn't you like, or did you like, Ian?
I'll just go through my character list. I like the front man. I thought he was pretty cool. The guy that
Storm Shadow.
Yeah, he was awesome. I liked his.
Yeah, and I call him Storm Shadow. If you don't know, he's the guy that played Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe.
All right, very good, very good. Haven't seen that.
Oh, sorry, which one? That's the front. You said the guy inside the
front
game?
man. Yeah, the cop's brother that had on the black mask.
Oh, the front man. Yeah, he's an excellent actor.
He's
excellent actor.
That character is fantastic. I love this whole very opulent room. It's very extravagant gold.
He is, and he's so quick to catch clues and stuff.
There he is.
And he wasn't kind of taking no prisoners. I suppose. I love the bit whenever, or the scene whenever he kind of realizes that there's someone lurking about in his domain, because he's left the telephone receiver the opposite way around.
I knew that was going to play, and he put the receiver down the wrong way. I knew that would happen.
That was good. He was a great.
He caught it like that.
Yeah,
he's very astute.
He was a great character. I thought he was brilliant. He was like Big Brother, wasn't he? He was watching everything and missed nothing. So I thought he was a great character. And again, one of probably my least favorite character in it, for all the right reasons, is the guy Alicia was talking about. Was one of the rich guys, and he wanted the policeman to perform certain acts on him, and it was kind of this sort of power of wealth, and upper echelons of money, and extravagance, and if you make him happy, he'll do whatever he wants. It's interesting to see, because we've seen that scene happen to lots of women in films before, and now that's the society's changing, and like Alicia was saying, there, LGBTQ community, and there's a lot more of sort of openly gay characters and stuff in shows now. I thought that was an interesting take on it, and exactly.
So, which character? I missed that.
It was one of
the rich guys.
One of the rich guys watching. He had the gold mask, he had the gold lion mask on.
Oh, I didn't like him at all.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that took the guy to the other room because he liked his eyes. I hated
that character. Yep. I thought that was just like a terrible stereotype. Jack, my husband,
absolutely
looked at me, was like, horrible. What is this? Just awful. I mean, I mentioned in our chat earlier, I thought the VIPs actually were the weakest part of this series.
They're the worst.
They were so bad.
That could have worked. That could have worked without them even being there. If it had been, without them being there live, I still think.
I don't think they all needed that either. Yeah.
No.
On screen. I mean, show them coming in, but that's it.
Should have come in, or a silhouette of people behind a screen watching it or something would have been fine. But we didn't.
You know what?
Go ahead,
the commentary when they had the jumping on glass competition, the commentary that they were giving in the background for that worked. Mm-hmm. That was great, but all the other extra that they had them doing, it wasn't needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually part of it was the casting was really bad. They decided to use American actors, but they were obviously B or C list actors. So, I mean, I guess if, you're going, okay, let's have some American assholes kind of be the, the VIPs, and it's new money.
You know what though? Not even for new money, but it works for the situation and for the commentary on society. Of course, it's one Asian guy that's super rich in his element, and then a bunch of American rich assholes that are coming in for this nonsense.
I just wish they would have hired better actors. And maybe in you guys say, maybe they did it in a different way. I did like the masks though, by the way. I thought the design on those were beautiful.
They were an interesting touch.
Yeah,
I give that, definitely.
To keep their mystery. Now, regarding him, the one rich asshole taking the cop out into another room, I think that they had to add that in just to have an opportunity for him to get away. I was trying to figure out maybe that was a plot point but they didn't have to do it in that way. They could have done it in a different way.
I agree. He did end up getting all of the rest of the information that he needed from that guy, but he could have come across that in any other different form and it would have been done better. And then he make his escape.
Yeah. So for me, those for me were the worst characters. I have to say, and you guys are probably not going to agree with me at all on this, but I actually, what was her name here? I didn't like Ji Young, who is, and the reason is, and I feel this might have been an act. This might have been an acting thing.
The other girl that was there.
The young girl, I felt like the whole time, like, and I've seen this actually, and they do this sometimes in, like in Battle Royale, they did it, but they played it up. They do sort of this melodrama, or they do this very like, we're not in a killing game. She just seemed to me very flat. Like, it's not that the character itself was maybe an issue. It's just the actor, I felt, didn't do the job that I thought. And so I didn't feel that connection between her and the other girl, who I thought was fantastic, as Alicia has pointed out. So it didn't ring true for me, that relationship between the two of them and her sacrifice that she ultimately gave. Like, people were saying that they were crying and stuff. I'm like, really? Like, no, I'm hardcore though. What do you guys think?
Yeah, there was... I think for them, there was definitely a connection made, just that they like recognized, I'd say, themselves in each other. And I think the final decision that Jeong made was basically like, she's a lot, even if she wins, what is she going to do? Okay, pay off her debts, and what next? I mean, yeah, you could sit around and be, a rich person not doing anything with all that funds, but the other girl, I think she saw actually had something to go back to, something that she was really trying to work for. And even though the competition was not over, she gave her that win because she felt like she deserved it. She connected with her enough to see the good in her and to try to help forward that. So it made sense to me. I actually really like their connection.
I didn't know I think what I'm saying is I understand it, like, on the page. It just didn't, for me, her performance didn't like carry that. I found her face was totally flat. Like, okay, we're just going to go do this. Like, it was like she was bored, like, all right. Like, if you watch it, like, you'll see she just, most of the time she is expressionless. I mean, that was a choice, I suppose, that the actor made. It just didn't work for me personally. I don't know if you felt that, Ian, or if it's just me.
No, I tend to agree with you. I kind of think that that's sort of a kind of portrayal of sacrifice, and it was too rushed. She doesn't know the other girl from Adam. Why would you sacrifice yourself? And but that brings us back to the marble game itself, where getting the pairs. And the twist on that was amazing, and the not only were they in pairs, but they were against each other, and man and wife were going against each other, best friends.
The husband and wife.
Didn't realize what they were doing.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to team up with the old guy because it'd be too weak, and no one wanted to pair up with the girls because they might be too weak as well. Because I think Tug of War was just previous to this, and I totally agree with you. She was just a very bland, very passive type of character that all of a sudden had a lot to say. And before we kind of really got to New Year, she was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll
I have a thought. I actually just had a thought. What if that was just the point?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like she said, she doesn't have much to go back to. Maybe she was there just like the rich guys because she was bored.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the case, but it seems like it would fit with someone like her, at least from the little bit that she gave off about herself.
Mm-hmm. And do we see her getting killed? Or is she
as she's
sound
walking
effect?
away, she gets shot in the head.
She gets shot.
I couldn't remember because I was going to say maybe.
Oh, that's supposed to be faked. Who knows? Maybe they would.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to make a comment. 30 Days and Peter were talking about the women that were painted in the room. And I said to my husband at first, I'm like, are those sculptures or are those real women? And he's
no,
like, no,
I think those were all people.
Yeah,
they were people. Yeah, they were people. It was interesting though. It would be like you're getting like hired for the day to do something like that. Cause you hear about these, I don't know, these clubs. Like I had a friend years ago, she used to work at a club where she would just basically get dressed up in a burlesque outfit and then go sit in some kind of bird cage it was like a sex club or something. And she get paid really well. So we know these places, or it's an Eyes Wide Shut kind of thing. So we know these places exist. So what did you guys think of that? That was like a bit of set dressing.
I thought that was hilarious. Me and when my cousin were sitting here watching it, she was like, wait, how like her face is like right there. And then the other one's face is because, they had him in the like the yin yang position. So I thought it was funny. I was like, you know what? If that were me and I was getting paid for that, I would probably just go to sleep. because you're literally just having to lay down in one position and
That's
you have to do nothing else for the day.
It did look like they were sleeping, actually. Maybe that's what they did. What did you think of that, Ian? Was that
straight away I thought of Tony Teflon. I think this is somewhere where Tony Teflon would go and hang out. I think this is one of his clubs that's that he would like to
where all the naked ladies are.
Where all the naked ladies are. But yeah, I thought it was that sort of it was sort of based on the jungle, the king of the jungle, and they were all painted up as animals and they were all painted up as trees, and they all camouflaged together and stuff. And it just, for me, it was just another one of those things that really just wasn't really needed. It was just I think it was a case of let's do it because we can do it and put it into the show. But in terms of what it's kind of brought to the aesthetics of the thing, yes, okay, who's gonna turn their nose up at looking at some beautiful women and attractive men, painted up in all their glory. But in terms of the genre of the show and the narrative and all, it didn't lend itself to it, so it wasn't really needed. But I suppose the connotation was these guys were all in gold animal masks, so these were the king of the jungle, and they were coming in, they were drinking their brandies and their fine champagnes and eating their caviar, and they were watching people kill each other as if they were just watching a sport on television, I suppose. But other than that, it was just one of those kind of moments where I was like, okay, it's there, but it just doesn't really bring much. It doesn't really have any real purpose. Again, it's all to do with impressing the billionaires and the new money, and trying to recruit more investors into the games and stuff. We just again, it just really wasn't one of those things that needed to happen, but it was there, and it's like, it's there, and it's very passive anyway. I don't really remember too much about it, other than because Alicia brought it up, it wouldn't have been a point that I would have been trying to make about the show anyway. But yeah, it was very it was very weird. It was very gentleman's club anyway. Very much like
yeah.
It sounds like they're really objectifying, right? Isn't that like just like the purest sense of showing your power and objectifying? Yeah.
I mean, they're making jokes about losing $1 million, like the guy that picked player 69 just because he liked the number 69, and he lost when the guy died. I think he lost like $1 million on the bet, and then just went and bet on another one. Like you're casually just throwing away that amount of money, like that all that excess, that's the unneeded extravagance is what the commentary is on.
Yeah, I was going to say I attended a face painting conference, and we had like body painters, like we had models just like walking around with nothing on except for body paint. It was amazing. The body painters could draw like clothes on them, so it looked like they were wearing clothes. So it was really kind of interesting. A form of set dressing. I thought it worked for me. Now, regarding the VIPs again, and I think maybe I would have loved to have seen at least one woman in the room. I know it sounds like, okay, what would a woman be in the room? Would there be a female asshole bajillionaire? I think it would have just added a little bit of interest to it.
Why not? Yeah, that would have been a good addition.
A woman or even a person of color. Like I realize Il-Nam is, South Korean, but it would have been interesting to have a bit more of a diverse than a bunch of asshole white dudes. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys what do you think of that?
Yeah, I totally agree.
It would have been interesting. Go ahead, Ian. Sorry.
I totally agree. Again, going back to the Hostel films, what this reminded me of, when we get into the sequel, we do see millionaire women now taking part and killing people for sport and for fun. And again, it was when I first saw that, I thought it was like, oh, now there's millionaire ladies are doing the same thing as what the guys were doing in the first film. And I think you're totally right. I think it wasn't very diverse. Again, was the three white rich men, old men, would have been good if it had been maybe a young lady there who just come into money or something, but she had a bit of a sick and twisted sense of humor, and thought this might have been an interesting thing to do, or a very powerful type of woman, or someone of color. Or that, again, I know South Korean and stuff, but I think if this was to be remade kind of like in Western, I think they would probably take that approach. But in terms of it's just a very stereotypical, I think, just a stereotype, the three, like you says, the three white rich assholes kind of thing, and that's how it came across, because they weren't very interesting. But I think if there had been a woman there, I think it would have been would have changed.
I think I just think it would have added an interesting dynamic, and but you know, the filmmaker is a man, and I guess he's looking at it probably from his perspective, so I can sort of maybe understand where, you know, maybe what he's looking at, whereas I'm looking at it from my perspective. And Alicia, obviously you would be, and Ian, you would be. So that was just one of my thoughts. And I thought, wouldn't it have been an interesting if there had been a couple of men that were painted in the room, because obviously not all the men were into women. They were into men as well. So I was like, oh, it would have been interesting if there had been some men that were painted and maybe lying on a sushi table or something. That's just sort of some of my thoughts.
I do agree it would be an interesting dynamic, like I said, but I do also agree with what 30 Days just said. It fits the narrative that it was those people in there. So, I mean, it's highly possible that we'll get a season 2. So maybe we'll move to another part of the world where something's changed up a little different.
30 Days doesn't like my political correctness. But I'm just telling you 30 Days. I'm just saying that as from my perspective. I was like, how come there's no women in the room? You know, there's like, you know, that's my perspective at being a woman, you know? So you're right. I'm being politically correct.
Women are just as capable as men of just being horrible people. So yeah, you know what I mean?
And he is right. He is right. He's saying the fact is the richest people in the world are men. And that's absolutely true. So, although the woman who owns Mars is a woman, Mars, you know, make the candy bars,
the candy bars.
Candy Bars Mars, it's a woman who owns that company. So there are some, and she's in like the top 100 most wealthy people. So, but no, it's true. We got the Bill Gates and we got the Jeff Bezos and we've got the, you know, I don't even know all their names. You know what I mean? Anna says, I've watched a lot of tragic misinterpretation come from the lack of cultural exposure. And then Peter says, I thought for sure the handler was female for most of the show until I connected the dots to the detective's brother.
Really?
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
You thought it was a woman.
I didn't think that at all. Interesting.
That would have been a cool twist. She could have been a former winner of the game.
Heidi, yes. Just a small intermission. Would you like to do one of the giveaways now? As we're about an hour in, probably only got about another hour or so to go.
Thank you. Okay, so how should we do this? Should we do a trivia quiz? Sorry, I keep scratching my nose, everyone. And, you know, yes, let's do
however you want to do it.
Okay, so I'm going to do a trivia quiz. I'm just trying to think of something. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give away Alicia's poster. Justin, I don't know if you want to show it again. It's of Captain America. It's fully framed. It's going to go to somebody we're going to say like maybe Canada and the US. But I'm going to do 2 Amazon gift cards international after. So this is the first one. And okay, what can the question be? There it is. Thanks, Justin. The question is...
Ian, you've got some pretty good horror knowledge. You got
why don't you ask
good
a
horror trivia question?
Yeah.
Do you want to relate it to Squid Game, or do you want it to relate it to
No, it can be anything.
Spooky?
Anything.
Let's just say Halloween in general. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. What was the name of Michael Myers' doctor in Halloween? This is for the
yes.
Avengers,
This is for the poster.
By the way, I'm very jealous. I don't live closer to you, because I would love to.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to come in as an audience member next time.
I'll post it to the UK, so no point anyway. So
what was the question? Who is Michael Myers' doctor?
Who's the name of the psychiatrist that looked after Michael Myers and Halloween?
I can picture him in my head, but I don't know the answer. Okay, so
I couldn't tell you his name.
Wonderful actor, wonderful.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I can. So 30 Days, maybe you can keep an eye on the first response. So the question is, who is Michael Myers' psychiatrist in Halloween? Okay,
it's all about who can Google fastest. You are exactly right. 30 Days. You are exactly right.
No one knows offhand. I know him. I know his. I have the picture in my mind, but I don't know the.
Yeah, like I can see the scene playing out in my head, but I don't think I ever paid attention to what his name is. Oh wait, are you looking for the actor name or the character name?
Either or, I think at this stage.
Yeah, either or.
Okay.
I'll put the live. Oh,
We-
there it is.
we got one
Sam
in from
Loomis?
OTDA. Is that
Yeah,
it?
that's
Sam
it.
Loomis?
Sam
Hey,
Loomis, yes.
DA.
Great
Played by
job.
the wonderful Donald Pleasance.
My
Okay.
eye. All right. Well, DA, you have won the Captain America poster that you see on the screen. You know how to hit me up on Hangouts. Shoot me your info, and me and Heidi will get that out to you.
Yep. Dr. Samuel Lewis. That's his full name. Okay. So why don't we give away an Amazon gift card while we're at it? And then we can leave the other one for the end. Does that sound good to everyone?
Indeed. Yes, do it.
Okay. Let's do, Ian, do you mind doing another Halloween trivia question for
Yeah,
us?
no worries.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, Donald Pleasance is the actor. Yes.
Donald Pleasance.
Fabulous actor. Fabulous.
Unbelievable actor. So he is. Right, I'll keep it relatively simple then, and
Mhm.
I'll keep this. This is a good one. What color was Freddy Krueger's jumper in Nightmare on Elm Street?
Oh, I know. And a jumper for
When you say jumper, you mean
non-British-
sweater, right?
Sweater. Yes. he
Sorry,
means sweater.
sweater.
Sweater. Jumper is the British equivalent of jumper. So what color is Freddy Krueger's jumper? This is easy. I know this even. Okay, whoever gets it first wins a $25 Amazon gift card to buy whatever you want. Oh my God, really? Nobody knows this answer?
Yeah, I am very surprised. I thought I would have seen it pop up by now.
And it's relevant to the colors that we're talking about this evening.
Yeah.
You can Google it, you my friends.
And it's not black and white if you're looking at the picture up above.
I mean, is there any cap on who can win? Like, can DA win twice? Because I have a feeling he knows this. He just isn't saying anything.
Yeah, so 30 days says I've never seen it. I know it. We'll put it in the chat.
Yeah,
he's the gift card.
I mean, you can win a gift card 30 days. You don't have
yeah,
to
just
hold
because
out.
you're the mod doesn't mean you can't win. Put it in there, dude.
The questions were ad libs, so
Justin's
you'll
in
never know what they
North
were.
Dakota. Just south of Manitoba, where I used to live. Brown and red striped.
Brown and red striped.
Is that correct?
No.
Oh, it's not.
No, there's one off.
I'm
No.
exempting
No,
myself.
he's
he
accepting
says.
himself. All right. Well, kudos to you, my guy.
Anna, do you know the answer?
Oh, this is like Squid Game, guys. Like, you can literally see the
Peter, are you
answer.
here? Can someone please just Google it or something? Nope, close. Says 30
You can
days.
see the answer just looking at the screen.
Will we do an easier question, Heidi, do you think?
Then I don't know. I
Go,
thought
Laura.
that it was
Right. This is a pretty hard one, which you'll probably really have to Google. But what does Dracula drink in order to survive?
Oh God. Okay. I don't know, martinis.
Really?
That's my guess.
I wouldn't get an answer to this.
True blood.
Red and green, that
He
is
used to
that's the
drink
right
True
answer.
Blood.
Red and
Oh,
green.
Red and green. There you go. There you go,
Is that
DA.
right?
That's
Yep.
right, yes.
Okay. So OTDA.
It's very Christmassy.
LTDA
It
gets
is
a
very
poster
Christmassy.
and
But again,
A
they're
gift card.
complementary colors, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
thanks 30 days. Okay, so OTDA, you win not only the framed poster, but a $25 gift card emailed to you. Like it's a virtual gift card. So you then just can go, I think you download it. You can buy whatever you want. Where does OTDA live? Do we know?
I want to say like northeast somewhere.
North Dakota? No, that's Justin.
I'm in North.
No,
I'm
no,
not-
I don't
I'm
think
not-
it's. I don't
I
think
am
it's
not
North
in North-
Dakota. Just
yeah, I'm not
somewhere
there
over
either.
in that region.
OTDA, where do you live?
I think.
Why do you keep
I
saying
don't-
I'm?
I don't
Why do you
even
keep saying I'm
remember.
in North Dakota though? That's not even the best Dakota.
No,
I'm
not you, Justin.
Oh,
Justin, 30 days.
oh, all right. Oh, I love it then. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So there's two Justins here. OTDA is just don't put your mailing address, but whereabouts in the country are you? Only reason I knew is I thought it was odd. He has a Christmas sweater on. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Is there a reason why? Oh, Ian's gone. Just wonder if there was a reason why he had that color.
I think
Freddy
that's just
Krueger?
what he was wearing when they killed him, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is behind it that Wes Craven wanted to use used two colors that played sort of a trick on the human eye, and red and green together was quite hard to interpret, and other people were getting the color of the jumper wrong for that reason. But and I have to agree, the best Dakota is Dakota Fanning, and sorry, that was a weird joke.
Okay,
with your $25 gift card, go and buy yourself a Nightmare.
Yeah, congratulations, OTDA. So, and you're getting that awesome framed poster as well, which I am like super jealous. But anyway, I'm glad you're getting it because you're always in our stream, so that's very nice.
Indeed, yeah. DA
okay,
absolutely
so
deserves that.
We're going to move along. Okay. So we talked kind of about the characters. We talked a bit about the production design. Do we want to talk about the horror elements in the story and what you guys, because I mean, there's so many good ones, right? Like,
can I interject one thing before that?
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the walls?
Oh, in the
did
room.
Did you guys notice how all of the games were on the walls the whole time?
Yeah,
but no one was paying too much attention. Yep, they were all on there. There's glimpses of them even when the room is at full capacity. If you're near the wall, you can see glimpses of them, but no one thought to move the beds to see what they might be. I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I just have a weird mind like that. If I'm going to be in a room like that, in a situation like this, I am paying attention to everything to see if I can get a leg up anywhere.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I guess because the beds were all stacked up against the wall, and they were not. I mean, they didn't really seem to be that.
Even pulling them away, though, the room empties out. Still, no one pays attention to the walls.
And I mean, It feels like that room has been used before. Like, you know, obviously, if in the archives they have all the records.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They did. I saw actually a couple of YouTubers did videos about it. That they showed all the different games. Yeah, Justin's got it up on the screen. 30 days. So they should have paid attention to their surroundings. They are in there 23 hours a day. Seems that out of that many people, you would have paid attention to it. Yeah. By the way,
because it did seem they were only doing one game a day.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to say the production designer on this was a woman. She did not just the sets, but the costumes as well. She did everything in working with the design, the director. I thought she did an amazing job. Really, really hard working.
I agree.
Yeah.
But to the horror elements,
So let's talk about the horror elements. Lots of really great elements, and the games themselves were designed really. It was really, really interesting and fascinating how they were designed. So, what do you think about the horror elements, Alicia? Start with you.
I caught it from the beginning. Like we said when we started, you're going out and you're supposed to be playing red light, green light, but there's this weird ass mannequin chick that's at the front of the line, and it just. It seems like it should be nice and innocent with all the sunshine and all that, but it turns deadly very quick. I mean, I think in that game alone, they X'd out nearly half of the people that were there before people started paying attention to what actually needed to be done. And then after that, to have the opportunity to leave. And this is why I think the girl player 212 was faking. She said she has a daughter that she has to go back home and name and take care of, and she needs to get back to her daughter, but she came back. Not only did she come back, when they did the initial vote, she voted to stay. So I don't think there was any daughter at all. She was just scared in that moment, but then she thought about it like, let me just go ahead and take this chance, because even being in there, it's still better than going back outside to what's out there. Now, that's the thought that's really scary. Like, you're going to stay in this situation, even though you have an opportunity to go, but you don't want to do that because it's worse on the outside. Like, that's, I think, one of the scariest things about it. And then once you leave, they leave. Almost all of them came back. I think they said they had around like 90% of the people that left came back.
That just goes to show you the desperation.
So the desperation is real.
I just wanted to say something before we move on. I just noticed giant. This has probably been there the whole time, but Justin has this giant eyeball at the top of the screen that's just like it just keeps like looking down. Like it'll look at me and then it'll turn and then it'll look straight and then it'll look at you. That's hilarious, Justin. That's so funny.
Justin should be producing like everyone's YouTube
He
streams
is so
because
good.
he does all this cool
It's
stuff,
just
man.
so cool. I love it so much. Yeah. So 187 out of 201 returns.
Thank you, Peter.
So that was after they killed all the people in red light, green light. Did you notice that, Ian, the eyeball?
I chroma keyed that in. That's my real eyeball.
So
yeah.
good.
I'm admiring it here. It's a fantastic marvel in terms of live streaming. Very
and also he's got like goo, like he's got some like goo kind of hanging at the top, like around the frame. It's so fun.
That is
really great, Justin. So cool. And I've been on some like, big top YouTubers that don't have the goods like this. This is so great. So what about you, Ian, about some of the horror elements? I mean, there were lots.
Yeah, it was from start to finish. There's a lot of horrific things, and then there was a lot of horror within the genre too. And it was very explicit, especially whenever people were getting shot. Again, back to the game where they have to try and remove the cookie or the shaped cookie from the it's casing, I suppose you could call it. It's biscuit casing, and there's no negotiation. You break the biscuit, you're shot in the head, and that's it. And we get to see it happening. And
talk about pressure.
Yeah, it's very graphic, and
I thought doing a submission, when you're like doing like you're ordering tickets for a movie, and they go, you only have like 15 minutes to get this processed, otherwise it expires. I thought that was a lot of pressure.
Yeah. That was it. You were on tender hooks watching them trying to remove the cookie from the casing, and then again there was the first one, the red light, green light. How many people were just completely wiped out from that, and it was a bloodbath. Wasn't too far off from what a Rambo film was probably like.
Yeah.
But it was, then there was the org, like, then touches of some dark issues too about the, selling the organs from the
organ selling
from the dead contestants, and
that was a great little subplot. That's what I was saying to my husband. He didn't watch the whole thing with me, but I said, the story itself is really great, but then they just added in this extra like subplot, or even like how they dispose of the bodies. And then, there'll be a hand outside of the body that's outside of the coffin that's moving. But then they just kind of shove the hand back in and staple gun it closed. And then that the person's going to be cremated, like put into a hot fire.
Yeah, it was it's very dark. It's a very dark program, and it's obviously camouflage with all this sort of childhood memories of games, and like we said about the colors and stuff, but underneath it all is really, really dark. And it's a very graphic program, and there is a lot of death, and it's unbelievable for a Netflix show, which it really has sort of stepped up in terms of the bringing the sort of gore and horror to it. Like, I think we kind of spoke loosely last time we talked, Heidi, about Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor and stuff like that. It's very paranormal and it's a wee bit creepy and a bit scary, but this is just full on, blood and guts. And I think, Netflix is going to give the audience what they want. And they're going to give us more of that in the second series, if not, top what they've already done. So yeah, it is. It's I would definitely class it, put it in within the horror genre 100%. If I had to describe this show. Yeah,
Connie says my shift today was. She said Alicia. Connie just came in. She said my shift today felt like Squid Game.
Well, we're glad you survived.
Oh God! I just want to read something Peter said. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
That's it. That's what. If you're talking about the mom, that's what I was going to.
Okay.
Yeah. Peter said, one horror aspect for me was when the mother walked out of the hospital because she couldn't afford it. Dude, that whole scene and that right there was basically my whole point about Guillaume. I get you had some trauma, my guy, but look at your mom and how you're treating her. That's horrible. This woman has diabetes and is in danger of losing her leg, but she still has to leave and go to work. And Guillaume's response was, insurance will pay for that. You cut off the insurance though, my guy. So, and while she's in the hospital, who's making money to pay the rent? Who's paying for the hospital room? Not
that's
you,
also,
obviously.
That's also a comment on, universal health care as well for me.
There's so many things wrapped up in this horror plot, and all of them are scary on different levels and for different reasons. It's all of those side characters, the mom, the other lead guy, his mom that's in there still struggling, trying to run a restaurant by herself. God, that was devastating. The little boy in the orphanage. Yes. All of those folks are all still affected by all these elements, and it's crushing.
Yeah, the scene that really got me was when the mom of the young, the handsome guy who's gotten into trouble with embezzling or whatever, when she's on the phone bragging about him, and my son is like this, and then all of a sudden the authorities show up looking for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so devastating.
And she's so surprised, and literally it comes out of nowhere for her because she can't fathom her kid doing that.
Yeah.
Oof,
yeah.
Man.
So
it's harsh.
And it's funny because they were talking about this. I haven't seen. There was this one review I watched. What was it? Where they were talking about, it's always the human characters. Oh, I know what it was. I watched a review of The Mist, which I'm sure Ian has seen. The 1990, I think maybe it was the 2003, The Mist, Stephen King. And they were talking about it in that, yes, you've got monsters and creatures, and this is very, very popular in any kind of horror movie, but it's the humans that are always the most terrifying, right? And it's so true. So in this, you've got the outside of the game story that you having all these horror elements, and then within the game you have the horror elements. So, and I love how they kind of paired them together like that. And I think they did a great job in that storytelling aspect. Great point, you guys.
I do agree.
But then when it comes to some of the blood and that, did you find it was a little bit on the campy side? Like, for instance, red light, green light, which of course is very, very brightly lit. They open up the dome, they have the sun coming in, they're on this island, but the blood, it was super bright red. And I know that, blood, when it's fresh, it does tend to be quite bright, but did it feel a little bit campy to you? Like they were kind of doing maybe a bit of a battle royale type thing? Ian, what do you think?
It was extra on purpose.
Yeah. Again, it was like Rambo whenever he was in Burma and he was shooting everybody, and everybody's legs and arms are blowing off, and
they're like
everybody's blood was like pure red.
There's that first woman, and they've used this in I think Justin had it in the opening. There's this woman who gets splashed in the face with blood, and she puts her hands in her face and she does a Kevin, McAllister scream, it was super campy in that way. Or the melodrama, you know what I mean? I actually really enjoyed that.
Peter actually just said something. So when 456 saw the Golden Boy push 218 onto the glass. Actually, that's the thing. I would like to get you guys' opinions on some of the trickery that was going on. How do you think you would affect? I guess the biggest one would be Gion and Ilnam in the marble game.
It was disgusting.
I don't know. It was, but if it were you, the man is like 90. He already has a brain tumor, and he's faking going through Alzheimer's right now. But still, with those parameters in mind, wouldn't you do the same?
I don't know that he was completely faking, though. Was he faking? Because he did have a fever. And I was saying that I'm like, he wouldn't have been able to fake the fever.
No, he has a fever, but I mean, when they were playing the marble game and he was faking, not remembering like what he said or all that. I mean, at the end, he totally called Guillaume out on it. It was like, this is what you do to an old man, and trick him throughout the whole game. And Guillaume starts crying. He knew what he was doing. He didn't lose any type of memory.
Oh, sorry. I got confused there. I thought you were talking about the trickery between Ali and Sang-woo.
That was awful. That was awful.
Replaced the marbles with rocks.
Yeah.
That was disgusting. What a
that was awful. Weasel. No, I was talking about, we were talking about Il Nam, whether he was faking being confused or not.
Yeah. See, I got confused. So
yeah.
During the game, I don't think he was faking. Before though, maybe.
There now.
Because I personally believe that he chose our protagonist to win. That's what I personally believe.
I think he was looking out for him as well. I don't know why particularly, but I think that's what he was trying to sway.
Well, because he went back to visit him, remember, and tried to convince him to come back. And I think because he liked him, I think in a way, I think they had a connection.
There is a fan theory out there that somehow he's Gi-young's father.
Yes,
I don't know how that would connect. It doesn't seem like it would need to be a part of the narrative for me, so I don't think that connection is there. But if we get a prequel, maybe we'll find out some things. I don't know.
People always be making family trees instead of theories. You know that.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, they could be this. I'm like, what does that do? They're like, well, it would be the uncle then. I'm like, and then they're like, I'll be quiet. Yeah, you should probably.
So Ian, what did you think about that then? The sort of what he ended up having to do to Il-nam to win the game?
Part of me thinks he was led down that path. I think that's sort of the psychological thing about the marble game with between the two of them, because as the game was progressing, he was almost like losing his marbles. He was kind of forgetting things, and he was kind of, you know, acting erratic, and he thought he was at his, you know, that could have been possibly the same street he grew up on. That could have been a reenactment of that, or that could have been scaled to be like that for, you know, we don't know. But in terms of as the game progressed and as memory kind of started to get worse supposedly, I think he was steering. He was in control of the game. Especially when he thought he won, and he pulled out the last marble and he says, "I've still got one." And it was like, "Oh, come on!" You know, he thought he got away with it there, and I think he got upset. He started to cry and stuff. So I think part of the game between the two of them was, I think he did have a genuine fondness of him, because I think there was compassion there. He wanted to help. He never left them out. He was always putting other people first before himself. And then this was really the first time where our protagonist had to sort of, you know, put himself before anybody else to survive that game, because like he wanted the old man and the tug of war. He wanted him as part of the team. He didn't want to leave him out, and he's seen him sitting on his own, and then he put his hand out and he said, "Let's be partners." And then also the marble game had a
meanwhile the old man knew he would have been just put in the room, in the holding, right? He would have just been able to go to the holding, so he wasn't like worried about it or anything. But I don't think he faked the fever or wetting his pants. I don't think that was faked.
No, because obviously it's when we get to the last episode, he's connected to machines, he's on life support or whatever it is, so he's obviously going through some form of illness, and incontinence is common in Alzheimer's patients, and they do come and go. They will, like, they can have moments of lucid, you know, they could be lucid. So I felt here's the thing. Real to me.
Okay, let me run it back to the beginning real quick. Il-nam was never in any danger at any point in time here. Like all those guards, that first night where they had the fight and they allowed them to kill each other, the guards were outside the door the whole time. They were just waiting for the signal to stop. The signal to stop came from Il-nam, and he just made it sound like he was the frail old man that was afraid. He had absolutely nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing to worry about the whole time. And granted, he does have some issues, like with the time when he peed the bed. I think that was real. I don't think he was faking that.
Justin thinks he poured water on himself. He thinks he poured it just on his pants.
Did he have enough water saved somewhere for that? Because remember, they didn't have a whole lot of supplies. They only were getting one bottle a day.
Because our guy had to find a bottle of water to just make a cool cloth for him, because you can't fake a fever. He wouldn't have been able to fake that.
He did have that fever. So I mean, maybe he had hidden a bottle somewhere. That could have been it. But I think that, for me and how I saw it, that's one of the only 2 times where he showed his actual vulnerability. During the marbles game, he was playing Gi-young back and forth. He just wanted to see what he would do. And then when it came to the end, that's when he came back out like, "You sure you want to treat an old man with dementia like that?" And that's when it snapped for Gi-young. And that guy was just suspect the whole time for me. And there's little cues if you watch him that you can see he's really just playing the Game of Thrones and he is winning. Mm-hmm. That was basically it. My worst betrayal though that I saw there was freaking Ali and Sang-woo. Yeah. I wanted to kick Sang-woo in the teeth for that.
Yeah, that was just awful. By the way, I was going to say that was the first time I've ever seen a movie where, we had someone who is from Pakistan who spoke beautiful Korean. That was kind of an interesting.
Well, they are also Asian. Yeah. That whole population, they all are in that same category together. So it is cool to see the mix.
I thought that was really interesting because, I live in Toronto. We have a lot of people from Pakistan here. So it was just like, I'm like, oh, that's really cool to see someone, so of another culture being within another culture. It was like very kind of felt meta for me. It was very cool. And also speaking of that, it's kind of interesting. I don't know how you guys feel, but I always love watching what it's like in other cultures, like, what their cities look like, what food are they eating, what are their homes like? Did you find that kind of an interesting outside of the game, just getting to see all of that as well?
I always like going around and seeing the full set, I guess you should say, seeing the people and seeing the jobs and just how a lot of things in the background work, It's probably not a whole lot to see sometimes, but I just always like pulling that in because the city or the town or village, whatever, that also ends up being a character in itself that adds to the whole vibe and mystique of the show. And I thought it was great that they did that.
Yeah. And even Il Nam's old neighborhood is used as the set in the marble game. And so when he was walking around going, oh, this, like, I know this. I mean, it is possible he was confused or he wasn't confused and maybe was just completely charmed by it. He thought it was kind of cool, like if you went into a game and you saw your childhood neighborhood all done practically, and they did it practically. It wasn't CGI or anything. That would be actually a very that would have been amazing to have happen. Sorry, Ian, I have been talking over you. Go ahead and say something.
Oh no, I totally agree. It's nice to get to see the outside of the Squid Games, the culture and the cities and stuff. And there's a lot of misconception with a lot of people that Korea is just rice fields and this and that, but it's not. It's this buzzing metropolis of a beautiful city. There's in terms of filmmaking and stuff. There's a great zombie film on Netflix at the minute called #Alive. And it's based in Seoul, and it's all about the technology and all that kind of stuff, Mm-hmm. And it's you kind of see what's going on in other cultures and other countries, and kind of sometimes realize we're a couple of steps behind here in terms of how we live our life and how things are happening around the world and that and other cultures. And I got that within this as well because it's again very much technology and advanced in this program, and there's the whole thing about debts. I think you spoke about it early on. I think some culture there's no middle class. You either have it or you don't. You either have the money or you have nothing. And that's just what it is. We're in Europe and the UK where I'm from. There's the upper class and middle class and lower classes. But in a lot of cultures and a lot of different countries, there's the upper class and lower class, and that's it. There's nothing in between. You either have the money or you don't, and this is kind of the impression I was getting from this show was that a lot of them were living in tiny little apartments and they were sharing rooms with their parents, and they were parents were going out to work until their late age. That the main character's mom looks like she was in her 70s or 80s.
They can't retire because they can't afford to retire.
That's it. And again then.
Sorry, Justin, were you going to say something?
Sorry, Justin.
No. You were talking. I was just going to go off what he said. I like that idea of the thin line between heaven and hell, essentially. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
No, that's exactly what it is. It's, for a lot of cultures, there's no middle class. It's you either have the money and the lifestyle or you don't. You've got it or you're scraping and clawing your way up. And I felt this in Squid Game. When I keep forgetting his name. I don't want to butcher his name, but our main protagonist was at the arcade trying to win a prize out of a machine for his daughter.
Oh my God, that was so awful.
We probably could have went to a shop and possibly bought a toy for the amount of money, but maybe it was too late. The shops were closed, the arcade was open. This is what I had to do. For 1 minute, he had for a fleeting moment, he was a king of kings with all this money, and then
he's the worst gambler ever.
Yeah, within minutes, it was all taken away from him.
Well, it kind of shows that even when it comes to gambling, he's completely incompetent. He's kind of just incompetent.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like he paid that kid to run the machine for him when you could have just bought one of the toys the kid already had.
Mm-hmm.
What did you need to go through all of the extra song and dance and then lose all the rest of your money for it? And then the gift that you got your daughter, you didn't check it. And when she saw what it was, she didn't even get to keep it because you took it away from her because it's something she shouldn't have had in the first place.
Yeah.
So like you're literally the worst.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh wait, Ian, what was the name of that movie you were talking about? The zombie movie on Netflix?
Hashtag alive.
Alive.
Hashtag alive.
It's called hashtag alive.
Check that out.
Like it's
No, the
spelled
hashtag symbol.
Oh,
and then
okay.
alive.
Alive.
Or pound
All right.
if you're in your 50s.
Pound alive.
Yes, it is also the pound.
Pound alive.
Symbol, yes.
I was going to say, actually, I didn't mention this earlier, but I don't know if anyone's watched Alice in Borderland, but if you like Squid Game,
Not
you
yet.
probably
Heard it was good though.
Oh my God, it is so good.
Yeah.
Ian, have you seen it?
No, but I heard it's supposed to be amazing.
It's great. So again, that, you get that feeling of being, I believe it's Japanese and it's based on a manga, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So amazing. And there's going to be a season 2. So, there it is. Thank you, Peter. I'm going to watch that. Okay. So
Nice.
where are we at here?
Would you maybe want to get into us stacking all of the characters
Yes.
on
Let's do
the
that.
list, just so I don't run over too much and have to keep the ladies waiting for the next stream?
Sure. So what do we want to do?
Speaking of which, I have a stream coming up after this, you guys. If you're still bored, come over to my channel and we're going to talk about Serpent and the Rainbow with the ladies from Thousand Eyes and One.
Oh,
podcast.
you mean the movie Serpent and the Rainbow?
Yes.
Oh, I love that's with Bill Pullman, who is amazing. There's a TV show he's in right now.
He's great.
I love him. Okay, so wonderful. Alicia, you want to put that in the chat for everyone? If they want
Yes,
to come
I
join
will
you
do.
after. And what time is that? Is that at 4:00?
It's going to be around 4:15-ish.
Okay.
I'm going to give us time to wrap up properly.
Sure. Okay, so what do we want to do? Do we want to order up the characters or what is it that we're doing? You tell me. You're in charge.
I am never in charge. Now just we have the tier list. I'm sure Justin will get it up in a sec. Just rate all of our main characters and from our faves to worst and see if we can come to agreement on those that we may not have liked as much as another of us.
Sure.
And we'll see how everyone stacks up.
Yeah. So Screen Rant did a rating top 10. I think it's pretty good. Justin, I don't know if you're able to get that up there.
Yeah, I can see there's a top 10 there, I think.
Okay. So what do we think? Okay. So why don't we just go in order? Okay. Abdul, does everyone agree that Abdul should be number 1?
Not number 1, but up there.
Yeah, I put him up there. I wouldn't put him number 1. I would put him up there probably in the top 3 or 4, I think.
Are we talking about characters that we like likability factor, or are we talking about their contribution to the show and what they've done for others?
Yeah. Alicia, what are we doing here?
Then you can pull all of that together and make that your consensus of how you would rate them.
Brilliant. Abdul is
if
definitely
you-
not number 10, but he's up near the top somewhere. But he's
Oh, did
not
they have
just
him
at
as
the top.
10?
It looks like he's 10 out of 10 there.
I thought they had him as number 1.
Hold on. Are you on the maybe I'm on a different page than Justin
I'm on
is.
the Screen Rant one, Justin. Which one are you
Yeah, I'm on the Screen Rant and they
sorry,
have
I'm just
Ali
looking at-
as 1 out of 10.
Sorry,
came
I'm looking at
first
the one
Screen Rant.
that's on YouTube here.
Oh yeah. Okay. So they have him as number 1. I would put him, maybe like 3 or 4, like Peter's saying.
Yeah.
He was
Still number
but he
1,
was
but he's up
my
there.
absolute favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ji Hun, I don't know. I have probably would put him as number 1 personally, because I feel like I know he was a dick and he made a lot of huge mistakes. And I'm like, yes, you should go to your daughter. But at the same time, he's like, it's kind of like, he's like, I have a bigger mission.
Mm-hmm.
That, he's like, Luke
And how
Skywalker.
far is he really going to get in that mission?
He
could very easily die in the first round. And then what? You leave your daughter disappointed.
No, I mean, what I mean is that he at the very end of the movie, he should have gone to see his daughter, but he's like, no, I've been called to a higher purpose. And it's like Luke Skywalker. He has to go fight the bad guy, right? He has to go off and in season 2, take on the man. He's going to have to John Wick the fuck out of them, kind of thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's my personal opinion. What about you, Ian? Who would be number 1 for you?
Again, I'm going to try not to butcher her name, but the lady that came third, as a Kang, she's my favorite. I thought she was brilliant.
The whole character she's my number 1.
The whole character was brilliant. Her reasoning for being there was so noble and so, she was a lovable rogue in my opinion, and I think that she got it, but she got it tight at the end, as we say over here. She didn't deserve to die the way she did. Your man definitely.
She was done dirty.
I would argue. I think I would argue that she could have and would have won if she hadn't have gotten that that shard.
Yeah, that was actually
that's what did her in.
Yeah, the game makers, that was like really a brutal choice to do that, because
they did not need to blow that glass after that.
They did it on
purpose
because they knew it would cause some
it would hurt someone.
It would hurt someone. Yeah. Okay, so we all have our number 1. The triangles. The triangles for sure. Well, I don't know that I can separate the triangles and the squares. Like, that's kind of weird.
I mean, they're all kind of worker bees. I mean, the triangles, squares, and the circles. They're all just the worker bees.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right one for you guys or not, but this is the one I was using earlier. Is the first one that goes from 10
I clicked
down
on the link that you sent on Twitter.
Yeah, which should be this one right here.
I think for me, like the protagonist, like they always say, you don't have to like a character, but you need to root for the character. And I really rooted for him. I did. And I knew he was going to win. Obviously, it was pretty obvious from the beginning. That part for me was predictable, but you knew that he was going to go and take care of the families. Did he do it quickly? No, he was like.
If he had not had that meeting with Ilnam, I don't think he ever would have. That's the sad part about it. Without that extra push, that boy still would have been in the orphanage.
I don't think it was safety glass. I don't know. Okay. What about the worst? Let's just say the worst. I guess we've already kind of did this. I don't know if I can order up everybody, to be honest with you.
The worst character. I think the worst and most just annoying, and he could have died first and I wouldn't have cared, is the gangster guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like bullies, and that's all he basically was. Mm-hmm. And one of the worst kinds. He got a lot of people killed and also had his hands in killing a lot of folks also. So
yeah, I think it's kind of like it reminds me of Survivor, the game show. Like, they always intentionally pick characters that are going to cause conflict, and so this was a character that caused a lot of conflict. And outside the game, like, my God, that guy could punch, like take down people. Like, he was a muscle guy, right? So and also I thought it was interesting the way they did the dynamic between some of the games where you needed muscle, and they had how they used women, like, because you're like, in some ways, and I don't mean to be sexist here, but in some ways the games were not equitable. Whereas in something like the 3%, if anybody's seen that, it was more like your intellect that you used. Whereas in this one, it was actually in some cases pure muscle, although in the candy game it wasn't. So you could argue, well, some of the games were intellectual, some of the games were physical. So
it turned out, though, some of the physical games like Tug of War, that also ended up being intellectual. It wasn't just muscle that won that for them.
Yeah. 30 Days was saying, FYI, the rules to that never said you had to land on the center of the glass. I just straddled the glass on the holders.
Thank you. I said the same thing when we were going over it watching last weekend. All you had to do was touch the glass. That little strip right there, you could easily just walk down and
the
been
other thing
fine.
they were saying is you could have used your shoes. Like, they could have picked up
or your shoes to swing ahead. Yep.
Yeah. So there were no rules.
Absolutely right.
So there were some interesting things. Yeah. Because it is sort of like that. Like, the rules seem to be
the rules were vague enough to make them panic and not fully think about what they actually could and could not do. I mean, the only one that caught on was what's his name, Sung-woo. Unfortunately, when with the marble game.
There's this one YouTuber, it's called like How to Win Any Game. He said you could have taken your sweater, tied your shoe onto it, and then hit the glass with the sweater or shoe sort of projectile. And then
you wouldn't have even needed your sweater. Those panes weren't that far away from each other. You could have just tied your laces and swung.
Yeah, because everyone took off their shoes, so everyone could have grabbed shoes and just started throwing them and seeing. And then I know. Yeah, so that was an interesting point. So what about Cho? We never talked about him. He's definitely
Sang-woo. He's probably player. I'm gonna put him at number 9 on my list.
Yeah.
He's the rich boy that went to the best schools. He got to go to the university and had the cushy job and then embezzled all of the funds and hid it from his mom, because when the cops came to see her, she didn't know what was going on. And, he's there trying to do all this stuff and he's playing the game. I'm not going to say, he didn't do things that needed to be done if you wanted to win, but it's just his whole demeanor and how he handled everything and his outlook on everything that just really, I just wanted to punch him in the face. He's number 9 for me.
Now, we don't have too much time left. So I just wanted to say one of the things that's happened since this came out, like actually, Alicia, you had messaged me and then I messaged Ian, before all this kind of blew up, this show has gone crazy. Like, what do you think the reason is that why this show is like the number 1 show that's been on Netflix, I think, of all time? What do you think it is?
I think it's the realism that comes from how economies around the world are right now. Like a lot of folks like to think that, some places are a lot better off than they are. But when you really start looking into things and breaking bare bones down and seeing what is actually happening, we're kind of already in that dystopian world. These games could legit be going on right now in our real world. And it would make sense that it's happening to me. I think that's what it is, because people can see how real it is.
You should see the comments I get on my Logan's Run video. Like everyone, it's so funny. People are like, "Oh yeah, we're ready to do human sacrifice," and I'm like, "Okay, guys, I don't know if we're quite there, but a lot of people believe that." What about you?
I think we are. People, desperation will do a crazy thing to you, man.
Yeah. What about you, Ian? What do you think about the hype of this show and why it has done so well?
I think it's just down to great storytelling. This show was very engaging. There wasn't really that. Sometimes in shows like The Walking Dead, there's that series or there's those couple of episodes where it's a bit meh and a bit boring and a bit dragged out. But I think with this series of Squid Game, there was nothing like that. It was action packed from start to finish.
Lots of good pacing. Mm-hmm.
Lots of good pacing, good story arc for the characters. A lot of mystery surrounding other characters. The big twist plots at the end. Then there's the revenge, I suppose. There's the revenge plot then coming into the second series, and it's just like Alicia said, it's touching on things that a lot of people in the modern world are struggling with now, with debt management. What can you do to make a fast buck, and what can you do to get a bit of extra cash in your pocket? And playing a child's game seems to be like probably the easiest way you could do it, but obviously it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen the film Saw. It's a bit like that. It's a child's game with elements of that. It's not at least in Saw they gave you the rules and explained what you had to do, but within this it was very vague. And I think, Alicia, you said it perfectly. There was enough to scare them, and enough detail within the rules to scare them, but not have them think logically, about what they could have done to win the games and get through them, But in terms of, I think something fresh too. It's not American, it's not European, it's Asian. Again, they're brilliant innovators in terms of filmmaking and horror and all that kind of stuff. I'm a massive fan of that, Korean horror and that. And like I said earlier on the show there, if I was to describe this program to someone who never seen it, I would say this is this is definitely within the horror genre, and you'll not be disappointed. So I think in terms of why it's such a success, I think it's basically because it's something new, it's something fresh, it's a spin on things that we've seen before. And there's that. I don't think we talked about it yet, but that great staircase up into the games room that was inspired by.
Yeah, I loved it.
That painting. It's left me now. Relativity.
The trippy doll.
Yeah, and the staircase is going up this way and up that way and up.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
The doll was.
I want to build a house like that.
Yeah, and that the doll from Red Light Green Light that was actually found out that was actually used on used in Korean textbooks, for school children.
Oh wow!
So I think
way.
I think that was to give the, again, there's that connotation. Oh, that's that likable character from our textbook. So it's like, like Ghostbusters. Oh, it's the Marshmallow Man. Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man. What harm can he do? And it was the same thing with that.
The cutest thing kills you.
Yeah. And it was the same with this little girl who was actually horrifyingly dangerous with machine guns and stuff. And the eye, with the electronic eye, looking around, looking for movement and stuff, like, it was very sophisticated. And again, that's what I was talking about in terms of technology earlier on. But yeah, I think it's just so popular because it's new, it's innovative, it's unique. The characters are good, it's well written, lovely paced, good music, good use of non-diegetic and diegetic sound.
The music was really interesting. They went with classical.
Yeah, the music was really good, and then you had all them little subplots as well. Again, you had mentioned, Heidi, about the harvesting of the organs, and we had the detective looking for his brother. Then I don't want to give away the big plots at the end, but then when we find out who the front man was and stuff, and the comment that was made earlier on about thinking that the front man was a woman, I actually thought that as well. I actually thought that this person kind of
that's so fascinating to me,
kind of in a feminine type of way. They're not.
Well, also, it's interesting you should say that, Ian, because when he's talking over the PA, it does then become a woman's voice, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting, which, is they do the same analysis in Borderland. They have a female announcer, saying, hello, everyone, get to your next game kind of thing. In Logan's Run, it's a female that's the computer. So it's sort of, it's kind of like a calming sort of, soft female voice, but really behind it, it's a man.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was
and I was recently just on a stream with a channel there this week, and we were talking about horror video games. And we were talking about a lot of Japanese ones, and they were talking about the characters and the manga characters. That a lot of the male characters are very the androgynous. Is that the right word? They look female. They look feminine. They've got beautiful hair.
That's something they do in that culture a lot. Yeah,
and I kind of got that from the what's his name now? It's left me, the Watcher. Okay, that's what it got. The front man, sorry. Very, very thin body, looked very feminine, walked very feminine, didn't come across like uber macho or uber, masculine.
And even the actor himself is actually kind of refined looking. He's very kind of refined looking. Him and his brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of threw me a little bit at the start, but then when the stars aligned and all the pieces fell together, then obviously with the big reveal. But yeah, great show. I can understand why it's so popular, and it's actually one that I would watch again. I would actually give this another run through, because I'm sure there's lots that I missed in terms of Easter eggs and things like that, bits and pieces. So yeah, it's a good show.
Okay, before we wrap up, so obviously it's leading into season 2. Will we see a season 2?
100%. Definitely going to happen. Definitely going to happen, and hopefully the red hair will be gone by that time.
I like the red hair.
No, you don't like the red hair.
I liked it. I liked it. That felt like a video game. When I saw him dye his hair red, I'm like, this is like something from a video game.
This is, for me, it was very sort of, not stereotypes, the wrong word, but I suppose it is in a way. We've kind of seen it. They sort of changed my personality and to see me rise from like a phoenix from the flames as someone else with red hair, and I liked him when he was kind of vulnerable and he was kind of himself.
It's funny when you see the actor in real life, he looks nothing like his character. I know he's an actor, but just in real life, he's super polished.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a really great job there. Okay, so we're going to give one more prize away.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we got one more giveaway.
Sure. One more giveaway. It's going to be a $25 Amazon gift card. Anyone who is still in the stream is welcome to enter. So Ian, would you mind doing one more trivia question? It's going to be again about a horror movie. Yes, you can use Google to look it up if you can't think of it. Do you have a question in mind?
Yes. Let me think.
30 days is it's more the cut than the color.
Yeah. More of the cut.
I think he just wanted something different. He wanted something like, okay, I'm leaving my old self behind. I'm taking on my new self.
Yeah, well, this is it. And he obviously sort of established more of a, I suppose he became a bit more of a badass at the end, doesn't he? He wants to go back into Squid Games and sort of, give everybody their comeuppance and stuff. So there will be a second series, and I'm looking forward to it. But the question anyway for the gift card is, what was the name of the clown from Stephen King's It? What was the name of the clown from Stephen King's book or film? It?
Oh, that's an easy one. That's an easy one. Come on, guys.
Freddy Krueger was an easy one too.
30 days is going to monitor. Whoever has the answer first will win a $25 gift card in your currency sent to you through email. And all you need to do is message me on Twitter if you're on Twitter. If not, you can, I don't know how you can get a hold of me, Justin. Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Oh, Anna wins.
I do believe Anna has it.
Woo! Anna, if you're on Twitter, Anna, are you on Twitter? You can message me. Is she on Twitter? Anyone know?
I don't know.
I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I think you can message me through my channel. I believe anyway,
there's an email
and
if you have to get there. Get hold of us.
Okay. So before we go, I'm just checking. What we're going to do is everyone can tell us a little bit about where people can find you, what you might have coming up next. How's that sound? Alicia, go first because I know you have something right after this. You can tell everybody.
Yep. I have a live stream coming up, probably another 15 minutes or so, with the ladies from Thousand Eyes of One podcast. If you're a Game of Thrones fan and
Tanya
on the YouTube's past few years, Tanya and Nikki, you should know who they are.
New mama.
And yes, Tanya is the new mama of the group, and we're going to talk about the Serpent and the Rainbow. It's an old, I think 85 is when the movie came out. It's about voodoo and whatnot. It was an interesting, one of my favorite horror movies from my childhood, actually. Besides that, I may have one or two other little clip videos coming up. Had to squash a lot of the things I wanted to do for Halloween because I needed to work more. So unfortunately, the real world does not stop for the stream sometimes. So doing the little bit that I can, and I'm always around, usually hanging with Heidi or Justin or some of our other folks from the Game of Thrones community. I'm on my channel sometimes. I always say you'll find me on my friends' channels a lot quicker than you'll find me on my own. So sup to all my people, especially these guys here, because they're lovely. And if you need to see me, you'll probably see me around them.
Alicia, I always love having you on, by the way, and you're always welcome.
No, it's always a pleasure. Always fun talking with you.
And Ian actually met Tanya because she did our Army of the Dead live stream. So we'll have to do one with Tanya. She's a new mama. I haven't had the pleasure.
I will chat with her
Nikki
this evening. We'll figure something out.
And I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Nikki. I'd love to meet her. Ian, have you seen Serpent and the Rainbow?
I haven't, but I will definitely check that out.
You'll love it. It's voodoo.
I think you'll like it.
I love voodoo stories.
Yeah, big fan of the White Zombie with the big Lugosi. Is that what you call him? The guy that played Dracula. Very
Bela Lugosi.
Gary Oldman or
Bela Lugosi. That's it.
Oh, Bela Lugosi. Yes.
Old zombie film, but a lot of voodoo and stuff on it, like plantation and stuff like that. Fantastic film. So we'll check out Serpent and the Rainbow.
Sounds like it's American, I believe. So Ian, what have you got coming up?
What have I got coming up? So just in the last week, we have a video reviewing Halloween Kills, and I have recently got to see the new Paranormal Activity film. So if you are into horror films and stuff, then you should check us out. If not, it's worthwhile because there are some good films there that aren't just all blood and guts and scary to death. There are some easy, moderate ones that you can watch, and we do recommend on the channel. We recently had a live stream with another YouTuber, a guy from England, from a channel called Retro Gaming Revival, We talked about The Exorcist, and we have a live stream coming up in a couple of weeks where we're going to talk about The Lost Boys. And just a couple more videos just coming out on that, again, a bit like Alicia, this was supposed to be like our Christmas Halloween, but with being so busy and stuff and being part of other people's live streams, we're just glad to have the opportunity to get out and mingle and get our faces in different channels and stuff. And it's always brilliant coming on when working with Heidi and Alicia. It's been brilliant the last couple of times. So always first there. Well, we wasn't first there tonight, but we got there in the end up. But yeah, great. And just based on what you were saying about the Army of the Dead stream.
Yes.
Army of Thieves is now out. So there is a sequel.
I can't wait. So that's the prequel, correct?
The prequel, that's on Netflix now at the minute. We can watch that.
Oh, I have to watch it. I love Dieter. So, is it Dieter?
Dieter, yeah. So
it was funny because I was doing a work thing. Oh my God, this was so awful. I was doing this work thing with this guy named Axel Dieteriksen, and I actually accidentally called him Dieter. Because I was thinking of Army of the Dead, but his name is Axel Dieteriksen. And that was embarrassing. But no, I'm going to watch it because I love that guy. He's got the best suspenders. He wears really cool shirts, kind of vintage.
Yeah, so that could be a future stream for the three of us, maybe.
Absolutely. And also, I was going to say, okay, we were going to maybe just talk about Mass Exodus a bit, but we have no time. So maybe we could do a Mass Exodus stream at some point. Ian, have you seen that?
No, but I'll check it out.
Mass Exodus?
Oh my God, Ian, you have to see it.
If it means working with you two again, I will watch anything.
Oh my God, Alicia, is it not amazing?
And I also, I haven't seen it. I that's why I was asking. Mass Exodus. Let me write that down on my list.
It's the same guy who did Bly Manor, and House on Haunted Bly Manor. Is it House on? Someone in the chat, please help me here.
House on Haunted Hill, and then
House on Haunted Hill and Bly Manor. Okay, we're negative 1 minute now. Okay, so we did the giveaway. We did where everyone is at. Actually, 30 days. I think I'm doing pretty good. Last time I think we were 40 minutes over.
I will posit one more thing for us to collaborate on if you guys want to. The Netflix show Kingdom.
Yes, everyone's been talking about this. So
it's very good.
Okay, so
it's a different twist on zombie stuff.
Oh, okay, so we have lots of stuff to do in the next few months together. This is going to be so much fun, and I have to say, I'm really very, very thrilled that horror is getting such a wonderful reception because it's such a great genre. And sometimes it is like someone like this guy on the radio today that I wanted to punch through the radio at him. I was like Hereditary, which is a fantastic movie. Certainly, it was, in my opinion, Oscar worthy. So just because something is horror doesn't mean it can't be super high caliber and high quality with a great production and wonderful cast and so on. So I think Squid Game is obviously a series that's deserving of that. So before we wrap up, I just want to say an amazing thank you so much to Justin Thomas for putting all this together. Like, first of all, it looks amazing. It looks so good. And he did such a great job. And I know he was really busy and had kind of, a busy week. So I just, as always, I just really appreciate him doing that. Like the last few streams have looked so good. And he always kind of changes it up and makes it look a bit different. So I do really appreciate that.
You're the best.
As well, I am very grateful that you spent some time with us here today. It was really fun for me because I've had kind of a crazy week just with my regular job. So this was just kind of a blast just to sit with some really cool creators and chat about this type of thing. And 30 Days says, please post when you know what the next subjects will be for the live so I can have a chance to watch, please. Oh, we will. Okay. Yeah. Loved it. Did a great job with it. Do you mean with they did a great job?
Put some blurbs out on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll do some. I have to catch up because I watched Mass Exodus again. I just binged it. And then I will watch the Army of the Dead prequel.
Midnight Mass is another good one. If you've seen that, Heidi.
Oh, sorry, that's what it is.
I just finished that today before we started.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Midnight Mass. What did
Midnight
I say?
Mass. That is brilliant.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Talk about
what did I say?
That was a good take on the vampire lore.
What did I say?
Mass Exodus.
Oh, I said Mass Exodus.
Oh, you were talking about Midnight Mass.
What is is Mass Exodus? What the
I don't know if
fuck
that was
is
some kind of
that?
sci-fi program or something you were watching. It sounds like
That's a video game. I'm almost positive that's
It's a video game.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay, yes, Midnight Mass.
Wow.
That's what we should do. That's why I said, Alicia, what do you think of it?
Okay.
You know, I haven't watched it. I'm like,
no, I am all in for Midnight Mass. Yeah.
okay,
Midnight
yes,
Mass is
okay.
good.
So that will be the next one we'll do, Justin. Midnight Mass. I'm so sorry, guys. My brain is mush. I thought the stream was tomorrow. I'm like, anyway. So thank you everyone for coming. Make sure if you want a prize that you message me. And Justin, did I cover everything? Please help me.
Yes.
Okay. Well, and for me, Justin and we're going to be doing more videos. So House of the Dragon, if anybody's into that kind of obscure show no one has heard of
Awesome.
yet, is coming out in 2022. So we'll be doing more videos about that. If you're into dragons, yo. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thanks for hanging, guys.
Bye.